what matters the most is if you dream big and you see a vision and you see something you want to accomplish and go do, go try it out, because it might fail or it might succeed, but you never know till you try, and you never know who you get to meet along the way and what that might lead you to.
Welcome to Camp Heirloom Radio, a traveling podcast inside an old bus. I'm Tanya, and at each stop, we sit down with the people and small businesses behind the Heirloom Market. Come for camp, stay for the stories. Well, welcome to Camp Heirloom Radio. We are a traveling podcast, and we're set up in just a random field with our guest today, who is Celine with the Simple Co. Celine has a very unique story because she started off as a shopper to the Heirloom Market roughly 10 years ago, worked her way up to a vendor, and is now a coordinator. There are so many layers to Celine and her story and the many, many things that she's doing, not just within the Heirloom Market, but in her own community. And so we have a lot to touch base on.
Yep.
But first things first, if you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and kind of your background and your business.
Okay.
Or how you got started.
Well, thanks for having me.
Sure.
I'm honored to be here in this beautiful field. It's great. So perfect.
Yes, we're a traveling podcast that would love to come to Celine's storefront, but for a future episode.
It'll happen. So originally from Eastern Nebraska, and met my husband at college and then moved out here. And actually when I came to visit him one time in the summer, get to know his family in Bridgeport, and I knew in college if I was marrying him, I was marrying Western Nebraska because he's in agriculture. So came out here, and that was what we did that weekend. We went to the Heirloom Market when it was south of Bridgeport, and which was great. It was great. Got to see the old tarnished halo, which is wild, and then got to go to market, and little did I know it was foreshadowing to something I was going to be involved in.
Right.
So it's really cool.
It is like a real full circle moment. So you weren't actually living here at the time.
Right.
So you were just visiting your future
Yep. Good stuff.
in-laws, which I didn't even know until you had applied one year for a market. And within your vendor application, you just said, just a fun little story.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law brought me out to the Heirloom Market one time, and I had no idea. And so that's really cool.
Yeah. It was cool. And then as I moved out here, I went to school for social work, so was doing my practicum at the hospital in Scottsbluff and trying to figure out how I was going to do my career in that. And once we started having kids, it just wasn't quite, or knew we were going to have kids, and it just wasn't quite finding the right path that I wanted to go about. In our area, it's harder to find jobs in social work. There's lots of jobs in social work, but harder to find exactly what you want to do. So coffee shop, and I don't even know if planning has always kind of been a part of, that's been my other half and the creative side of me. So when the Tarnished Halo came up for sale and I met Angie and started working there, it was just a really cool opportunity, and we were able to make that work. And then it's just kind of led me to do more in the market.
Yeah. Okay. I had no idea. I truthfully thought you went to school for event planning of some kind. That is like so... I mean, I had no idea.
I know. I wish I would have. My parents kept telling me to take a business class, and I probably should have.
Well, I have not done that either, and so proof that you don't necessarily have to have that. But wow, that's just incredible. Like just a very complete opposite direction. But I think you're a natural at it, so. At least as far as I'm concerned. So a little bit about the Tarnished Halo that you were speaking about. So I was also an employee there back in the day, cool. But it started as a gift shop, flower shop, coffee shop, and you were working there, and they were looking to sell the business, and so that was kind of the opportunity that opened up for you to take over. Did you have, what was kind of like your husband's response to that? Or like, I'm just curious how you landed on making the decision to go forward with it.
Yeah, I always thought in my mind, or God placed it on my heart I just had a desire to do something in that realm, like in the coffee shop side of things, and knew that it would be ideal in Bridgeport and not wanting to have to drive to Scottsbluff every day or work up there. But also knowing Bridgeport couldn't sustain multiple coffee shops. And so I knew that my avenue to do that would have been through the Tarnished Halo. And so when the door opened there and there was a job opening, it was just kind of a leap of faith to at least go work there for a while and make sure it's what I wanted to do. So did that. And then actually Angie wasn't quite ready to sell, and that was okay. I gotten pregnant with Jace, and so I was like, well, I'll just stay at home, see what else happens. And in that time period is when I actually started doing wedding planning. Okay. So I knew that was a need in our area and started doing that. And actually had a lot of clients back east, so I was traveling back there and trying to build it up here. And then that's when it was like, okay, we're ready to sell, and are you still interested? And I was. And so we just
fell into place.
Yeah. And Caden, my husband, him and I are very big innovators and builders and dreamers, and we just kind of are willing to open the door wherever and make it happen. And that was definitely a dream of mine. And it's cool to see somebody like him who he knew that the business was there, but didn't frequent it often. And now here we are. Yeah. So it's cool.
Well, that's awesome that you had his support, because I think a lot of times, you have family that maybe they just want to protect you, so it can seem like they're discouraging you from taking a risk or doing something maybe outside of that comfort zone, but to have that support is huge. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
It's been great.
So fast forward to your first time as a shopper at the Heirloom Market, and then I think you set up as a vendor, but that was still under Tarnished Halo originally, right? Or you came to the market when we moved it to Baird, and you were set up as a vendor through the Tarnished Halo, and that was kind of your first experience. Right. Again, we weren't quite... you were obviously doing your Simple Co. or the planning side for weddings and events, but you hadn't opened up your brick and mortar. Do you kind of remember that?
I forgot about it until now. Actually, I forgot about that first year. Yeah.
It wasn't really yours, so to speak. So maybe you were just.
I think it's funny because it's like Natalie and I were working together, and now she owns the clothing boutique next to me. So it's just so cool. I mean, God really lines up all the connections. But back then, I think we were like, we should do a booth there. We should do a booth there. We should do a booth there. Like, why are we not marketing ourselves somewhere else? Like, it's successful. It's going to grow. Like, it's great. And we did. And I think that year was like super windy, like super duper windy. And we were like making drinks outside in the wind. And it was like, okay, I don't know if we'll ever get to do this again because Angie thinks we're crazy. But also it was definitely like a dream of mine to like, it would have worked right if we would have, like, we just were not set up for the way we should have been, which is great. And you learn and you grow.
Absolutely.
And then the next time you do it, it's easier and it makes more sense. So yeah, I did forget about that. That's so fun.
Well, honestly, that kind of just came to me too. But so then once you took over and you established that, you then obviously reapplied, but you were bringing more of who you really were. Right. And I remember, I think it was maybe the following spring or maybe even the following prior to that, we were following that because it's prime wedding seasons typically for you around spring and fall market, or it was there for a while. Yeah. But you had the idea of bringing like a fresh flower bar, which was a hit. Yes. And then some of the other things that you were offering. And I just...
Yeah, we definitely started down, the spring market I did like having the spring and the fall. I felt like the fresh flowers fit more in the spring,
Sure.
and people are just ready for that in the
Right.
spring. So
I agree.
that worked really well. People just love fresh flowers. So we had our own little build our own bouquet bar, and yeah, that's where we started. And then as it evolved and moved to Scottsbluff or to Gearing, we I did a couple make your own things, and which is just, I think it's so cool. Like, we do now have some classes that people can come to, and we do those things in the shop, but it's also fun to bring that to people and have them something that they can make there.
Yeah.
And then, we bought our coffee trailer. So now the coffee trailer's there.
Now you have that as well. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So shopper, vendor with a trailer. Mm-hmm. And then one market, you showed up, probably setting up your booth, and you glanced over and looked at me in a frantic.
Okay, now I remember.
And that's what I love about you, Celine, right? Like, it didn't come off as like, oh, let me do this for you. You just were very genuine about, like, what can I do to help? And I was like, thank you. Yes, I need some help. And I think that's kind of how our relationship on that side began. So I know you're like, how did I even get that role?
Yeah, well, now also remember that as well.
You just simply asked, do you need help? And I did. I needed help. I always had this goal to build the team of Camp Heirloom, camp counselors, as I like to call you now. But it was kind of still in those early days of building, and you just kind of fell into the role so naturally, but that's just who you are. Aww. And I'm just so grateful to have you, because you have saved me in a lot of ways. Like, I was trying to do it all on my own, and let's just be real, like, it's just not sustainable, and recruiting people that maybe didn't want to do it, and so that's the other thing, having you and knowing that, like, this is something you want to be a part of. I'm just, again, very grateful to have you on board.
You're so sweet.
Thank you. And the ideas that you bring to the table, some that are just like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that, or some that I never would have thought of. And so
or some that I'm like, let's go over here and check this out. And then it's like, why did we waste our time? But you never know.
Yeah. But yeah. And you reel it in for me, right? Like, you don't tell me no when I have out there ideas, but you're also like, well, let's think about how to maybe make this, let's simplify it and not make it harder work for all of us. And I kind of need that. So,
so cool.
So, but going back to your role as a vendor, what, from those early days when we were, set up in Baird to now where we're at 5 Rocks, have you noticed a shift from the other side of things as a vendor? What does that kind of look like for you in terms of when you first started with us to where we're at now?
Right. I think just scale wise, it's been so cool to see it grow, whether that's on the customer side or the vendor side. I mean, there would have been a way to continue to grow it in Baird, but not. I mean, logistically, it would have just been that much more work, that much more to do. Which I know Baird, it was so cool there and just a lot homier. Yeah. I feel like a different vibe.
It did have a charm to it. That is, I do miss that.
And, but then moving it to Gearing, I mean, it just logistically planning side, there's just so much already there that it helps you, it helps me, it helps everybody involved. It just takes a little bit off of the planning side, the logistics side, to be able to just rely on the things that we know are concrete, even if they're not the cutest or they don't go with the theme super well or whatever. But sometimes having those things already in place that are concrete helps you be able to then dive into other areas and expand those. So I feel like, and then also as a vendor and a customer, like, you want bathrooms close by, and you want power close by for a vendor, and you want to be able to set up and have it all make sense so everything's in one area. And I think at some point it just gets to be not ideal. I mean, just not ideal for the vendor. And that's all about the experience. That's what people come for. That's why you become a reliable and professional and accountable event, is that you have all these things that you can provide for your vendors. And that's what makes them want to come back, and then also creates an awesome experience for the customer. So I feel like there is a shift in the vibe or the look or the aesthetic or whatever that is is a little bit different than maybe what is envisioned in the planning process, because it's just what it has to be. But logistically, for the customer to come in and have the best experience, the way it's at now is just, it's ideal for what that is.
It really is. I mean, it's still a ton of work on the backside, but there are so many of those smaller logistics, like you said, that are just so much easier now. You know, cattle panels don't need put up and things like that. So it's a natural evolution of growing a market, which is a great thing. Like, that's a great problem to have, you know, growing out of the space that we had for vendors and parking and things like that. But what do you think it is about the heirloom market that keeps people coming back?
Yeah, I mean, as a vendor and who like selling coffee for the first year last year, I mean, you can never really measure what a market is going to do for you as a vendor. I mean, you might sell out at an event, or you might not sell out at an event, and you might sell half of what you brought or even less than that. But long term, you don't know the amount of advertising you get, the connections you're building, the next event that might get brought to you because you did a market. So I think on a vendor side of things, you just never know. And I think that the publicity, advertising, connections, the amount of people, and the placement of where it's at has created a great experience for, I guess, me as a vendor. We actually just participated in an event, and we had the trailer at the museum in Bridgeport, and there's doing construction on the bridge right there.
Oh, yes.
And the event, we did not sell much at all. Like, we did not, it was kind of a bust. But then we got the entire construction crew to come over.
Hey.
And then now they've placed
Are
an
they
order.
regulars?
They are now regulars.
I love that.
They are now regulars. And we delivered to the bridge, and we delivered to their trailer.
Gosh. That is awesome.
And this last week we did like 4 times. And so like you just can't really measure sometimes what an event is going to bring to you.
Yeah.
And just like I said, the connections of people that you meet and your neighbors next door, and you know, you just don't know. And it's huge. It's really awesome. And so as a vendor side, that's what I think people come back for, because it's a well-established, well-oiled machine. I would like to think that's the goal, right?
I feel like we're getting there.
We are getting there. And so that, I think the experience is great. As a customer, I mean, there's not anything like it in we're in the Panhandle, and you have to drive 2 hours to get something to the west, and all the way to Omaha to get something to the east. So I feel like, you know, it's a one of a kind in its area, which just brings people back because, you know, as a mom and as people that are growing families, it's family friendly. It's fun to go see the vendors. It's actually a place where you can come shop and get things that you need, or clothes or whatever. Sure. So it's a fun experience, as well as it's actually worth something. So
yes, well, thank you for saying that. And I just want to note that last year you did something that no one's ever done for me. You pulled me aside and you were like, just look at what you've done here. And you helped me just like stand back and take a moment to be like, wow, this is really something special. And so thank you for doing that. Because again, I think you just kind of get into the motions and just head down. What's the next problem to solve?
Which is fair, because I feel like a lot of the times we just naturally gravitate towards like negative things, or the things that are going wrong that generally nobody even knows
Right,
about,
right.
but we know about them.
Right.
And so we just focus on that. And sometimes it forget to realize like, hey, everything else is going great. So
Yes, because that's just it. There are so many layers behind the scenes and a lot that people don't know. Is there anything that you wish people did know more about when it comes to putting on an event to that scale?
Oh,
or is it best they just don't?
I know. I mean, I think genuinely, like, as a vendor and as somebody who, I mean, I've participated in both ways, whether that's here or at other events. I mean, I just really want people to realize, like, we are genuinely trying to do and put on the best event possible. I mean, no matter what we think about and how we plan it, and trying to just do the right thing for the customer. And sometimes that doesn't always work out because there's a million different curveballs that can come to play. But most of the time you just think of everything think of it and plan it the best you can. And then a little bit, it's just, we got to see what happens.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just hope people realize that whether it's on either side, the vendor side or the customer side, like, things are really thought out, and we can think out something so much and in so much depth and detail, and then you show up and we don't know how to solve this problem. So we did not think of that
people
thing.
People and weather are like the two most unpredictable things. So, you can try all you want to have a plan in place, but not always. So the joys of event planning.
It's fun.
It is. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
So, okay, you were talking earlier about, getting to know, as you're a vendor, like some of the other vendors. And that's another thing I think about when I think back to your time as before you became a coordinator, and you, again, just naturally were talking to your neighbors, just kind of like hearing what their experiences were. And, as a friend, I felt like, reporting back to me like, hey, here's something to keep in mind for next time. And I've really appreciated that about you along the way. But again, it just comes naturally to you, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that.
I mean, I think in my head, I'm just always trying to, like I said, like, plan and innovate and build and make it all make sense. And there's so many different ways to think about it. And I think that's just, I think it's just me, which can be an issue because sometimes things don't have to be changed and things work well, but
I'm open to feedback. And I mean, you could take it two ways, right? I could be like, excuse me, this is my event, I need you to back up. But I'm not like that, like I want to hear, and I especially want to know how it's going from a vendor's perspective. And I do feel like that has maybe been another thing that set the Heirloom Market apart from other events. Like, okay, that's not working, what can we do, and what can we make changes for next year? And I want them to have a successful market. That's really the main goal. Are there any kind of collaborations that you have done with some of the other vendors that have been a part of? I mean, and you're always working with other people. I'm trying to think. I know you just do so much. Like, are there any things that you've worked with others and collaboration with? And
I mean, we definitely, in Bridgeport, like for Camp Clark Days and stuff, we've brought in a few of my favorite vendors from the Heirloom Market. I've definitely met them there. As well as they're now regulars at the store. So definitely brought in some people that I've gotten to know and I respect. And I think that same thing, they're reliable and they're going to show up and do a great job and put on a great, there's just the vendors that know what to do when they walk in the door, and I appreciate that so much. Especially when it's not as large of a scale as the Heirloom Market, you might not have as many people. So like when it's just something like that we're putting on, it's generally just me, and so it's nice to have those people show up and just know what to do. So there's been some really great vendors that I've met that. They've probably been at the Heirloom Market since it started, or pretty close. So,
Well, and maybe not as a collaboration, but like in some kind of a business partnership, you sell like our lavender coat within your own store.
I do.
And so that's a, connection made through the market. And I think that's so cool to see too. It's like two businesses coming together, and they're
Right.
Maybe there might be others, so that was just one off the top of my head.
Right. Yeah,
And
I do. And they have some great stuff. Go check them out.
shout out to our other vendor and good friends, our Lavender Co., which we might be able to take the bus out to someday.
Yeah, sounds great.
Someday. Okay, so we're gearing up for 10 years. But I feel like as far as like the coordinating side of things, me and you have not really been in touch a whole lot this year because I feel like we kind of have like, we have a good streamline of like, okay, so back up a little bit. One of the biggest obstacles when we moved to the new location was the layout.
Right.
So the year before, I brought you on board, we had all this extra space. We just got very excited about all of the room that we had to work with. But as you mentioned earlier, there was just something missing, that missing piece from like when we were in Baird and it was more cozy and intimate. Looking back, we needed to make some changes. And so when I brought you on last year, that was kind of our biggest obstacle to tackle. Me and you spent a lot of time out at Five Rocks. And again, I think that's something that people just don't see that part of it. Like we spent weeks and weeks leading up to the event, not just talking about it, but going out there, measuring off the layout. Just a lot of thought goes into those details.
Right.
But I think, got it down. So I miss you this year.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
not as many
Celine
voice
and I have
messages.
not had as many long podcast messages to one another, or just me rambling to you and you being like, I don't have time for this.
No, I just tell you, I'll get back. It might just be a minute. I need to block out 15 minutes.
I just don't know how to stop.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's been cool to see definitely a lot more work last year. There was just a lot of different ways that it could go. Awesome that we have all the space.
Right.
The capabilities to do that. But as we started to narrow it down and make this make sense, and then it piggybacked off this, and then we had to move this, it was just kind of a domino effect to make it all lay the way it did. And I definitely think it is a match to what it needed to be.
I agree.
The Heirloom Market is back for its 10th year on September 18th and 19th. We're bringing together makers, pickers, creatives, and community in a 2-day fall gathering like no other. With live music drifting through the bluffs and our famous Bloody Marys in hand, we can't wait for you to join us as we channel campfire mornings and the kind of connection that only happens under big skies. It's a little bit summer camp and a little bit small town magic, and everyone's invited. Sign up for our newsletter on the heirloommarket.co to be the first to learn about ticket sales, and be sure to follow along on Facebook and Instagram for vendor sneak peeks and general market information.
All right. So we've got the layout done. There could be some minor tweaks because these things just happen. But for the most part, we are feeling like we're on top of it this year because those details that needed worked out have already been established. Also, just a little side note, you and all your many talents, if you come to Camp Heirloom, you will see, an array of different areas that you can, set up for photo ops or just, we're big on the visual displays. I would love to go more in depth with that, but, we can only do so much, with the time we're given. But you have hand painted most of the artwork that is out there with the banners. And I just want to say that those are incredible.
Those are fun. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're a good time.
Yeah. So again, you do so much. But yes, we are going into 10 years and we do have some exciting things. We recently met up out at Five Rocks to kind of get the juices flowing, talk a little bit about what that could look like and different ways that we can celebrate this big milestone for us. So do you want to share a little bit about what that's going to look like? Or
2-day event. No, I think it's going to be fun. I think the amphitheater is a huge part of Five Rocks, and it's a big part that is hard. The first year played in a little, it played a little part of it, and then the second year we kind of nixed that area, and so it'll be fun this year. We're definitely going to bring that back, and maybe have some like little VIP areas. Ooh, so that'll be fun.
More details on that, because
I think that's cool.
Exciting.
And so that's really cool to be able to do that. So that'll be Friday night.
Yep, that's the plan.
And I think it'll get a little bit of a different crowd maybe in, get people in that don't even know about the heirloom market, which blows my mind. I mean, my mind is always blown at how seems to be a little bit impossible to completely get the word out for things. I'm finding that in my own stuff, and I feel like advertising is one of those things, like I said, back to being a vendor, like you just don't really know who's seeing your sign or who's seeing your thing, and or hearing the radio ad. But also, I always feel like it's more than it is. But there's so many people that don't know about Camp Heirloom, and I think that maybe this will bring another group of people in.
Yeah, so. I hope so. Yeah, and you're so right. It's like we come from smaller communities, and for the most part, people know what we're doing in our own communities. Right. And word of mouth is everything. But just the shift from Baird to Gearing, which is roughly 20 miles, has opened it up to this whole new market of people that did not even know we existed, let alone that we've been doing this for 10 years now. Right. So as a small business owner, are there any marketing strategies that
I mean,
are okay. Again, your social media.
We've been having
Are you doing
fun.
It? Are
yes.
you doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been having a lot of fun.
Killer.
Some of I've got a really good group of high school girls. Some going off to college, which is real sad, but they are a blast, and it totally helps when it's not just you in front of the camera. But you're just I'm totally willing to like do some of it, but at some point I'm just like, can you guys just record yourselves, please? But that's what it is, right? Like that's what I like to watch on social media. It's just random videos of people making coffee. Like it's so little, and it probably is a waste of my time, but also
no, absolutely not.
It's so fun to see the behind the scenes, and also like I feel like when I watch other people do it, then which we should do so much of that.
We should work on that.
Because I think that like that's how many other markets or people in wherever around us trying to do similar things. Like that's where I go to get a lot of my ideas and understanding. Like, I mean, I learned so many floral tips off of social media.
I wanted to ask you about that. We'll go back to it.
So I feel like that could be a huge open door of what we could do better too. But
well, and
also
I think,
what we do.
Yeah, it's just willingness to just put yourself out there, look silly, whatever. But it's just great. It puts a smile on my face every time I see it. And
I'm a dance on.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of cringy things in my children's eyes on social media. I'm like, you just got to do it. But I agree. I think McKaylee, who is our camp counselor, social media assistant, and she is amazing at it. But it's like, we're not together, side by side all the time. And so she would love for me to send her some fun stuff. So let's maybe make a note. Okay. So next time we're out at 5 Rocks, come up with something fun to do and make her day too. Because
she would appreciate that.
She really would. And that's just me saying, I know I need to step it up. So, but you've inspired me. So
cool. Let's do it.
But so do you feel like social media is kind of one of the better, I guess in the world we live in and where things are at, it's just probably the most effective in terms of marketing and
yes. So that has been huge, but it's also kind of back to the same thing. There's a whole group of people that don't. Yeah. I mean, in Bridgeport, like, we do utilize the paper, the good old paper. And so there's a group of people that, look at the paper that don't look at Facebook or don't look at Instagram. I'm trying to figure out how I can do some more like text marketing. Which I can do that through my POS, but it's not cheap and it's not ideal. Just how to do it is not super user friendly.
Okay. I've never dabbled into it, so.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I chatted with a lady, she's probably in her 70s, and I'm like, do you read the paper? She's like, no. I said, do you have social media? No. Do you look at the flyers around town? No. How am I supposed to get you information?
Yeah.
And I think, like, we all have text message, and
Okay.
I mean, even email's great, but the email campaigns, how much do we all open any of that? Not really.
Yeah.
So,
Guilty.
I'm trying to do a little bit more of some text messages.
And I love that you went out there and asked your market, like, how do you get your information? So how genius is that?
I don't know.
Knowing your demographic, which is, at the coffee shop and what you're doing, like there's a pretty large scale there, right?
Right.
Of customers.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Genius.
I don't know. We'll see if I can figure it out.
Well, keep us posted on how that goes. I mean, I don't know if that's something we could tie into with the heirloom market, but we're always trying to find new ways, I guess, to keep up with the times. Hence why we're doing this podcast here. So hopefully that helps reach a new audience level as well. Mm-hmm. So if someone was going to apply as a first-time vendor, what kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, take a chance. I mean, like I said, I've been a vendor at the heirloom market. Some years are great. Some years haven't been super great. I mean,
thank you for
being honest. Like, I mean, it just really, we've done a plethora of things that, some things we bring and people love it. And then the next time, like, we try something new and and maybe it's not a hit, and that's okay. Sure. But I think as a new vendor, you might have something unique that isn't offered in our area, and that's awesome. As a shopper and who has friends that come and shop and enjoy their time there, everybody wants something new, and everybody wants to see something new and different. So, and there are a lot of customers. So same thing back to like who our customer is there's a large makeup of different people, and so you never know who you're going to sell to. And then also be willing to come. Like, we're going to take care of you. We're going to try and give you the best experience, and if we're not, let us know. And then also just back to, like I said, you never know the market, and that you don't know what you're advertising to. You don't know long-term what you as a vendor is going to do for your business. And it might be just meeting the person next to you and they promote you, and you get a whole different group of people that come and shop your shirts. I mean, I think about like, there's a group of girls, is it Rain Company?
Yes.
That come from Eastern Nebraska.
Yeah.
And they came, I think was this their second year? Third year?
This past year was just their first.
Oh, okay. So see, I thought maybe they had been there, but now I follow them on social media, and I see some of their new stuff that they're doing, and they're not even in our part of the state, and they're going and selling things, and I can go and order off their website, and they can send me stuff. So I think whether somebody's purchasing something from you at the market or not, diversify yourself and have that online website, or have a place for people to come and shop afterwards, because that you might not sell to them that day, but there's the rest of the time that you're selling things that they could come buy from you. So
absolutely. No, that's a good point to make, So I feel like that first impression is everything. And especially if you're a new vendor and you're coming to this new event, nothing about, the other side of things. The first person that you're greeted with is going to probably be yourself or me. But I think this is a new area that you've also leaned into really great, is you've kind of taken on that role of, when the vendor comes in, they need to know where their booth is located. And I'm just curious, like, is that something that you're enjoying being a part of more than like the visual side of things? Because I think when I brought you on, it was more or less because of that, right? Like that's what you're helping me with. You're creating all the custom canvas signs.
Right.
You've always had a good eye for that. And that's something I've always been particular about too. So it wasn't an easy thing for me to just hand over and
Right.
say, oh yeah, you do this. Cause that's actually always been one of my favorite parts of it. But as it's grown, as I've gotten, more responsibilities, a lot of times those little details unfortunately become the last things that I can do.
Right.
So I guess going back, you're kind of that first face, if you will, which I think you make a great impression. At least I've never heard otherwise.
I hope so.
But I'm just curious, like, is there a certain particular role that you like best about what you're doing, or that's kind of a broad question? So maybe
not.
you want to.
I think I maybe made like a voice memo about this one time and then I just deleted it.
Oh, dang it. Well, here's your voice memo to me and the world.
No, I think I mean, just as I've gotten more comfortable in my role in my own business and my own life and what I've tried to do on a day-to-day basis, I enjoy the coordinating side a ton. I mean, you just, whether it's dumb ideas or ideas that might stick or things we don't even think about, I genuinely enjoy that portion of it, as well as like making sure it all sets up well and like a plan and purpose behind that. So, I mean, everything that I bring to you or everything that I hope we do or don't do, like always has a purpose behind it. And so I enjoy that role a ton.
Well,
so
you're great at it. And again, you just kind of naturally fell into that position, right? So if you're a vendor and you're just kind of chatting it up with other vendors and seeing how their experience is, that right there is, something that we're trying to do on the back end of it. But you were just naturally just doing it.
I mean, like, I love a good long day of getting people to their place. I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I said before, like, I feel like everything we do has purpose and it makes sense. And like, we don't just take decisions lightly. So,
Right.
And each vendor kind of affects each other throughout the event too. And so I think I enjoy the weekend of, I mean, last year, was it Thursday night where the sun went down and it was dark and I'm like, all right, it's time to go home. Like, there's just nothing more we could do. Right. And that, like, driving home for those things and heading there is just cool to reflect on, all the things that you accomplish and things you get set up. So, yes, I definitely enjoy that more than anything.
Well, again, it's just natural to you, and that's just been pretty clear to me, especially this past year, because I think that first year that I brought you on, again, just kind of going back, reiterating, it was more on the visual side, where last year it was more, in depth with the coordination side of it, and what a huge relief that was for me. And I know you and some of the other camp counselors have a goal that you would like for me to sit back and enjoy a market and not do anything.
It'd be fun.
I'm not quite sure if that is who I am and my personality.
Right. For sure.
So hopefully this Friday night concert that we're putting on will be an opportunity to do that. But, I feel like that was maybe the closest I ever got to experiencing that was this past year. Just knowing that someone like you and all the camp counselors, but, you had my backs and my back, and you were
right.
You were taking care of the things and putting out the fires, and some of the fires you probably didn't even tell me about because it's just best if I don't know.
Well, you just gotta solve the problem.
You just gotta get in there and do the thing, and that's what you do. So, aside from the heirloom market, please tell us a little bit more about the many, many things that Celine does, because I can't keep up. You are such an inspiration, all the energy that you have. I feel like every time I do send you a long voice memo, I'm like, just like, girl, wow, what are you doing now? I mean, I'm in awe. So, I mean, I know you're young.
It's either I'm crazy or I do a lot of great things. No,
Could be a combination.
I think it's, I'm just I don't know. I think it's probably the macro level of social worker in me of like, seeing the community succeed, seeing my business succeed, and just, you know, I just see an idea and I really don't see why. I mean, there are ideas that come that are like, those are not going to work. But a lot of the times when things come, like for me, it's just, I mean, that would be something I would want to have in my community. So I came from eastern Nebraska where there was a town every 10 miles and there were things happening all the time in every place. I mean, our summers were filled with every town celebration days and rodeos and street dances and all markets and things like that. And so I think when I came out to western Nebraska, whether it's good or bad, there just isn't as much, not because of anybody hasn't tried or hasn't done much, because there has been a lot done, but there's just less people, and the same people go to a lot of the same things, and which is great. But that also leaves an open door for a lot of opportunity in events and community events and things that can bring people together. And I just don't see any reason why we can't make those things happen. So,
Absolutely.
Definitely evolved in how, like, where I'm spending my time, and step back from weddings this year. My kids are just getting to the stage where I want to be able to go do fun things with them in the summer and take them places and have my weekends and support my husband in what he needs to do. So I stepped back from weddings for 2026 and it's been so great. But with that, it's allowed me to be able to do other things around town and other events and be involved in other things. And so then it seems like I'm doing a whole nother another area of things. So,
but it's a little different because you can involve your family, right? So it's like, yes, you're putting on these events. If you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like for your summer concert series, but I mean, it's family friendly, and I'm assuming, your family's right there with you. So it's not like a weekend at a wedding where you're gone.
Right. Yeah. Just staying out till 1 a.m. is just not as doable as it once was, whether it's me being able to function the next day or not being exhausted and being present for them, as well as just not necessarily wanting to get sitters all the time. So my kids, when they were littler, they maybe didn't care as much, but they're definitely getting to the point now where they need us around more. So it's been nice not having to do some of those things, as well as now I get to do like our community events. We're doing a street dance, which has kind of evolved into now music in the park 3 times this summer, 1 each month. Surrounding towns do them, and Bridgeport should also do one. So that's kind of where we started. There was some funds there to be able to put those things on, and it's a free event, and there's some vendors can come down and set up, and food vendors, and just another thing for people to get out and go do, and bring their lawn chair down. And then we did a fun run this last weekend too.
That's right.
Which was a good time. Yeah. Had a good turnout for that. And same things, like moms, not everybody's trying to run a 5K, but there's a few groups in town that moms just get together and walk in the mornings. So they're able to come do that. And then, just a few extra fun things this summer, which I got really excited about doing. So
that's awesome. Fun. And that just, again, I think is also an evolution of you, and as you have grown with your business, and just growing alongside of your family and what works now for you. So do you have plans to go back to the event world, or just kind of putting that on hold for now?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I mean, I really haven't thought about it much. I think I would like to. I do genuinely enjoy it. The wedding industry in our area is definitely changing. Okay. I feel like the wedding industry everywhere is kind of changing, but I feel like just the way the world is financially and how people are making decisions with their money, I don't know what that looks like moving forward. So definitely we'll see in the next couple of years how it looks to be. I mean, if the right weddings come along, I'll take them. But
Yeah. And you always kind of have that in your back pocket.
Right.
So,
Right. Wedding flowers for sure. Have a few of those this year and definitely would love to see that grow, but same thing. It's just whether people want fresh flowers or not. So,
okay. And there's just so many avenues with you. I am curious because I dabbled in the floral arrangement world and it was not for me. I think that surprised a lot of people, like as a creative, like you didn't like it? Oh, I did not like it. But you were just self-taught? I mean,
pretty much.
Angie, I know,
Yeah.
was an amazing, role model to learn from.
Yeah.
And Julie and all the people that started the heirloom, or excuse me, I keep saying the heirloom market, the Tarnished Halo.
That's right.
But some of your designs that I've had the privilege of seeing are just, they're not always like the most traditional. They're like a little cutting edge. And I personally like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's so fun to see all the different things that you're doing. And the flowers is another one.
The flower piece was, I never would have thought it would have been something I enjoyed to do. But it's been a lot of fun to create your own style and change and grow into that too. I remember when I first started out, I felt like, just getting comfortable in an area and knowing what you like to do and what your brand looks like and what your style is. I think I've definitely captured that and am more confident in that for myself. I feel like as I've grown and found my rhythm and my style, I've definitely have been able to make whatever it is look like my brand and what I'm trying to put out there. So, which I think is pretty different than some people in the area. And that's, agree. I feel like how you set yourself apart too.
Absolutely.
So
I agree. And you have, a team, a staff. And like you said, you do have some younger employees that might be in high school or off to college, but what a neat experience for them to have at such an early age.
Yeah.
Regardless of what path they go on, but to just have that experience and have had the opportunity to work beside you. I'm sure you're an inspiration to them as well and a positive role model to young girls. So kudos to you.
The Simple Co. is a really cool place. So we definitely have some good girls that, nowadays I'm always surprised at how, I feel like the youth are more mature and they are more with it. I was not as with it like that some of these girls are. And they just are willing to learn and they understand the world way better than I ever did. So it's cool to learn from them as well. Yeah. And I've got a pretty awesome right-hand gal that she's in the same boat, just like loves to see the girls grow and invest in them. And she helps me a ton. And I genuinely could not do as much as I could with my family or even with the market, being able to be gone from the store and make it all function. I've just got a really good group of girls to be able to come in and take that over. And Martina's great. And so
she is great. And she's been with you for a while. Yeah. So, and that, good help is hard to find. So when you do, you gotta hold on tight. Yeah. And you must be doing something right.
I'm trying. No, she's great. Yeah. It makes sense for her life and family too, I think. So as much as that helps, but
well, that's great. So in the past, Heirloom Market's kind of changed themes each time. So since you've been on board with this, we've really gone all in on this one theme, which is Camp Heirloom, and just kind of played off of it. And we're just having a lot of fun with, the play on words. So you're camp counselor Celine. And we have this, Camp Heirloom Radio podcast now. I do have a final question that I'd like to leave you with.
Okay.
And again, it's kind of just that fun spin off of that whole Camp Heirloom vibes that we're taking with. So before we put out the campfire, what's one thing you hope people remember about your story?
Well, I think what matters the most is if you dream big and you see a vision and you see something you want to accomplish and go try it out, because it might fail or it might succeed, but you never know till you try. And you never know who you get to meet along the way and what that might lead you to, because that is literally my story, moving out here and being able to do all the fun things that I have. And it's pretty cool to see the journey, and I'm just along for it, and I get to help bring other people to it. So I'm excited for that.
I love that. And I think that is definitely a story worth remembering.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
Thank
Celine,
you.
for coming on and being one of my guests. And again, look for us doing maybe some more active social media roles together out as our coordinating journey
Yep.
through the summer.
Sounds good to me.
It'll be fun. So, well, thank you for joining us. And until next time, this is Camp Heirloom Radio.
This has been Camp Heirloom Radio. If you enjoyed this episode, follow along on our socials or visit theheirloommarket.co to see where we're headed next. Thanks for coming along for the ride.